This piece describes the work of Charles Sheehy. The centerpiece is a singular sculpture which uses electromechanics to cycle a marble from the bottom of a set of ramps to the top. The sculpture, called the Sphere Elevator, is ostensibly his sole surviving piece, aside from a few photographs he took. The pictures appear in the video narrative about Sheehy. In this biography, the viewer is informed that the subject was an obscure artist whose work was mostly lost with the exception of the sphere elevator mechanism and some of the photographs. This device was rescued from destruction after his death. As in the Ziyagi piece, the video plays continuously in loop mode. However, those who wish can switch the sculpture on and off and observe the marble's elevation from the bottom to the top of the box. When the mechanism is running, the sound of the marble rolling back and forth in the box echoes the same sound recorded in the video. Again, the conflation of the real and artificial. The video presents a resume of Sheehy's life, describing his origins, education, and career, and compares him to Charles Sheeler, who also worked in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, in the early part of the 20th century. Sheehy took photographs of the local scene, and these photographs are contrasted to those of Charles Sheeler's. Sheehy's lack of an aesthetic or philosophical underpinning is compared invidiously. I think, however, that the thoughtful viewer will see that although Sheehy's pictures are different, they're in their own way meritorious. They're simply too sparse in number to evaluate their larger merits as a body of work. The criticism also ignores the originality of Sheehy's sculpture, which, although only singular, hints at a much broader and original thinking, and precludes comparison to anything done by Sheeler. In a larger sense, Sheehy represents the anonymous multitude of individuals unknown to their posterity, whose lives were creative and rich. This piece departs from the one about Virginia Ziyagi in that it uses an artifice of talking lips superimposed on the video image. This imagery, synced to the voiceover, introduces an added element. Instead of the deadpan narration about some individual, the lips let the viewer know that the story being told is authoritative but somehow false. Talking lips were introduced as an artifice to blur the distinction between the here and now and the past and fiction and memory. I'm going to walk next door here to the next novelette. This art piece is about a man, Herbert Markham, who was a farmhand and horse trainer living in an Upperville, Virginia area. He was also a farrier, so he knew how to make ironwork. For his own amusement, he had made a large number of small sculptures out of tin and scrap steel. Some of these were metal insects and animals, but in some of them he incorporated the actual bodies of dead creatures he found around a farm. No one considered them works of art, and the relatives and friends to whom he gave them considered them amusing, but attached no other value to them. At the end of the 50s, he lived in a tenant house on an estate where he had taken the job of general farmhand and horse trainer. In 1966, the story is that the estate owners decided to fix up the tenant house and rent it out, so that Herbert was forced to move. A gallery owner from New York came down to Upperville looking for a summer cottage and let the house. A number of Herbert's sculptures were found in an attic space. These the woman recognized immediately as valuable pieces of outsider art. After asking around, she soon rounded up a number of additional works Herbert had given away by offering small sums to buy them. That fall, she returned to New York and put on a show of the sculptures and realized an immediate critical and monetary success. After Herbert learned of what was happening, he became enraged, feeling exploited and deprived of his rightful share. He went around to all the people who still had his work and took them back and destroyed them, and he never made another one. The present pieces in the museum's collection are what remains today of Herbert's work.